So let's start with today's lovely recipe. Now here I've sprouted 1 cup of chana or kala vatana, and now I'm going to pressure cook it for 1 whistle on high and simmer it for 10 minutes. This is how it will look. Now we're going to make a coarse paste, and for that paste I've taken half a cup of fresh coconut, about 4 dried red chilies, 2 tablespoons of tamarind soaked in some water, and some garam masala. Then I'm going to grind all the whole spices, grind the red chilies, grind the coconut along with this tamarind water to a very coarse paste. Now we're going to heat 1 tablespoon of oil in a pan. And once the oil is hot, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Once the mustard seeds begin to splutter, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi powder, half a teaspoon of red chili powder. Then we're going to add some 7 to 8 curry leaves. Now once the curry leaves are nice and fried, we're going to add this paste that we have ground, this coarse paste. Now we're going to fry this paste really well. Once the paste is nice and fried, we're going to add the black vatanas that is sprouted along with the water that we have cooked it in the pressure pan. Mix everything really well. Now I'm going to add the water that it was cooking in the pressure pan. So for 1 vati of sprouted vatana, I've used about 2 cups of water. So I'm adding that water too. And we're going to mix everything really well. Now to sprout this black gram or black vatana, what I did is I took 1 cup of vatana, washed it really well, and then I kept it soaked in water for about 10 hours. Now I'm going to add some salt to taste. Then after 10 hours, I took out all the water and let the chana rest in for about another 8 to 10 hours, and then you'll see that it starts to sprout. So when you're sprouting it, there should not be any water. So the water should be taken out after soaking it for 10 hours and then keeping it without any water for 10 hours, and you'll get the sprouts. And now I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of jaggery or gur. And when I'm pressure cooking this 1 cup, I've used 2 cups of water and pressure cooked it on 1 whistle on high, and then simmered it or kept it on a low flame for about 10 minutes till it gets nice and cooked. Now we're just going to stir everything together. And now I'm going to add 1/4 cup of chopped coriander leaves. But now the recipe is not yet done. The most important part is there, and that is we're going to take a tadka pan or a tempering pan, and I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of oil to it. So we're going to add this tempering or this tadka or this fodni, and all we're going to do is just going to add a lot of chopped up garlic or lasun. So I've taken about, I think, 8 to 10 cloves of garlic and really chop them very fine. And once the oil is hot, I'm going to add the garlic to this, and I'm going to fry the garlic really well. If you haven't ever tried, giving a fortni of garlic to your dals or some of these special usals, you should. It just tastes amazing. And just to elevate the flavor, I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of red chili powder, and again fry everything really well. And once all of this is really fried well, I'm going to add this to our usar, our kala vatana usar, and I'm going to mix everything really well. And now our usar is finally ready. So you must try out this dish, guys. It's super delicious. In fact, you can eat it all by itself, or it goes really well with some nice hot steamed rice or even some puris or chapatis. So I hope you do try out this recipe, and I'll catch you soon in my next recipe. See you guys. Bye. recipe which goes well with any side dish. So here I've taken 1 cup of rice. Now I'm using basmati rice. I've washed it well thrice and soaked it in 3 cups of water for at least an hour. Now we have some whole spices. So here we have 2 bay leaves, 3 cardamoms or elaichis. These are 5 cloves or lavang. These are 2 big elaichis or big cardamoms. This is half a teaspoon of peppercorns, and that is half a teaspoon of shaha jeera. If you don't have shaha jeera, you can use normal plain cumin seeds. This is 2 medium onions sliced, 2 medium tomatoes chopped, 2 tablespoons of yogurt or dahi or curd. I leave a recipe of how I make the dahi or the yogurt at home in the description box below. These are about 15 mint leaves of pudina, half a lemon, and 1/4 cup of fresh coriander leaves chopped fine. Now we have some powder masalas. This is 1 tablespoon of coriander powder or dhania, 1 teaspoon of homemade garam masala, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. I'll leave the recipe of the garam masala. 1 tablespoon of kasuri methi, 1 green chili chopped fine, and 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. So these are all the ingredients. So now I've taken a pan or a pot, heated it up. Then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil and 2 teaspoons of clarified butter or ghee. Now once all of the oil is nice and hot, we're going to add the whole spices. We're going to flavor it by just frying the whole spices a bit. Then we're going to add the onions that we chopped fine, sliced fine rather, and we're going to fry the onions really well till they become translucent. Next I'm going to add the kasuri methi, just crush it up a bit and add it. Mix that well in. Next goes in the finely chopped green chili. Fry the chili well in the oil. And now we're going to add the ginger garlic paste. Now if you're grinding it at home, use about 5 large cloves of garlic and 1 inch of ginger and make it a fine paste. You can also use the ready-made paste. Next goes in the tomatoes. And now we have to cook the tomatoes till they're nice and soft and mushy. So we're going to cover it and cook it for about 3 minutes till the tomatoes become nice and soft, and then just press down the tomatoes. Now we're going to turn off the heat for about half a minute. And then we're going to add the dahi or the yogurt. So we don't have to add the dahi or the yogurt when the mixture is on the heat. So add the dahi or the yogurt and then turn the flame on. Mix everything nicely together. This way the dahi or the yogurt will not, go bad or spoil. And now we're going to add our lemon juice. So just take the juice of half a lemon. So that comes to half a tablespoon of lemon juice. Now we're going to add the 3 powder masalas. Next goes in the mint leaves. Now I'm going to keep a few mint leaves for garnish. Also fresh coriander. I'm going to keep a little coriander for the garnish. Now mix all of this really well together. Next we're going to add some salt to taste. Mix everything well. And now we're going to add 2 cups of water. Since we used 1 cup of rice, so we're going to use 2 cups of water. And now we're going to mix everything and we're going to let the water come to a gentle boil. Once it starts boiling, then just mix everything well together. And now we're going to drain all the water from the soaked rice and add the rice. Now we're going to mix everything really nicely together. And we're going to cook this till the water starts to evaporate. Now once the water starts to evaporate like this, just cover and keep it on a very low flame for about 5 minutes, checking in between. And then once all the water is evaporated, turn off the heat and just keep it for another 10 to 15 minutes with the cover Don't open the cover. And that's it, guys. Your lovely simple pulao is all ready. And then just garnish it and serve it with some fresh lemon. This is So let's see today's lovely recipe of corned beef and corned beef sandwiches. Now first I'm going to prepare this simple allspice powder. So I've taken 4 cloves, half an inch of cinnamon, and I'm going to grate some nutmeg till I get half a teaspoon of nutmeg. So you get a powder like this, or you can use the ready-made nutmeg powder. And I'm going to grind these two in my mortar and pestle to a fine powder which looks like this. I'm going to mix the 3 powders together, and that's our allspice powder. And we're also going to use 1 teaspoon of pepper powder. Now I've taken 2 slices of bread, soaked it in water for about a minute, and then squeezed out all the water. Next, I'm going to take 125 grams of bacon. Now I'm using chicken bacon. You can use the pork bacon, and I'm going to grind it to a mince like this. We're also going to be using 1 egg and 250 grams of mince. You can use beef mince, mutton mince. I'm using chicken mince. Now to a large mixing bowl, I'm going to add this mince or keema. Next, I'm going to add the bacon mince. Next goes in the soaked bread. That is the bread from which we soaked it and drained out all the water or squeezed out all the water. Next, I'm going to just beat the egg lightly and add it. Next, I'm going to add the pepper powder as well as the allspice powder and some salt to taste. Now mix everything well, and at the same time keep your steamer ready. Put enough of water in the steamer because we're going to be steaming this corned beef for at least 45 minutes. So your steamer should have enough water. And then I'm going to transfer it to a vessel which fits into my steamer, which I use regularly to make my meatloaves and corned beef. I have put up a recipe for meatloaf. I will leave the link to that below, as well as to some other delicious recipes too. Now just pack it down nicely. And then we're just going to put it into our steamer, and we're going to steam this for 45 minutes on a high flame. Keep an eye on the steamer, see that the water doesn't, completely dry up. So steam it well for 45 minutes. Put a timer on your watch or on your phone. And after 45 minutes, let the the corned beef completely cool down, and then open up the steamer. And you can see that it's still hot and bubbly. And insert a knife. The knife should come out clean. That shows you that the corned beef is ready. So now let the corned beef completely cool for at least an hour. After that, we're just going to put it into our mixer jar, and we're going to grind this to a fine paste. Now I remember my mom used to make these lovely corned beef sandwiches and give them to me, in my school lunch or whenever, and it was really, really delicious. And just grind it to a fine paste like this, and your corned beef is ready. So just transfer this to an airtight container, and you can keep it in your refrigerator. And now it's time to make some lovely corned beef sandwiches. So I've taken some bread, and I'm just going to cut off the edges. You can keep the edges if you like. So using a serrated knife, I'm just going to cut off the edges or the sides of the bread. I'm going to apply some butter, very little butter. Or if you like a generous amount, you can. See that the butter is evenly spread all over. And then we're going to, add a very, very generous amount of the corned beef. And see that it goes to all the sides of the bread. Don't leave anything. You shouldn't see any white. It should just be completely corned beef. Believe me, guys, these sandwiches are so, so delicious. And you can keep this corned beef for at least, almost 2 to 3 weeks in your refrigerator in an airtight container. And once you've done that, you can just, add the other slice, buttered slice, keep it aside, and do the same with the other slice of bread. And then all you have to do is just cut it up into, whatever sizes you like, or just keep them whole like this. I like to make mini sandwiches. They look pretty, and they look nice, and I like it that way. I like the mini sandwiches. I've also put up other sandwich recipes like coriander and coconut uh, chutney sandwiches. I put up the rainbow sandwiches. So I'll leave all the links in the description box below. You can go there and just click on it. It'll take you directly to the recipe. So I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. I hope you give it a try. I'll catch you in the next video sooner than you think. This is Akshata signing off. Take care, guys. Bye.
Friends, I hope you like today's recipe as well as today's video, and if you would like to see more videos like this, then don't forget to leave this video a big thumbs up. Also, by clicking the thumbs up icon. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and become a part of Akshata's recipes. Once you have subscribed, there is a small little bell icon that will pop up, so just click on that. That way, whenever I put up a new recipe or a new video, you get a message for the same. So on that note, I'll say bye, and I'll catch you in my next video sooner than you think. This is Akshata saying bye. Take care, stay healthy, stay fit, be kind and loving to one another. So till we meet again, bye.
So for today's recipe, you're going to need about 40 Mari biscuits, 200 grams of condensed milk, 200 ml of fresh cream, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Now I'm going to begin by crushing or breaking the Mari biscuits into smaller bits. And I'm just going to crush it up to a very fine powder. Now you could do this in a mixer too. So you got to get this, sand-like consistency. This is what we're looking for, because this is also called sawdust pudding. So it should look like sawdust or sand. Now I'm going to start whisking the fresh cream for about 10 minutes. You don't want, stiff peaks or anything. We just want it to whisk it for about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to add the vanilla essence and again give it a good whisk so that the cream and the vanilla essence, gets really well blended. Now I'm going to add the condensed milk. Now I do have a recipe for homemade condensed milk. I'll leave it in the description box below. You can go and check it out. Now again, whisk everything nicely together for at least another 5 minutes. Now I'm going to pour this mixture into a jar which has got a small little pouch. So that way, it's easier for me to pour it into these glasses. Now you can take glasses of any size. And we're going to first make a layer of the biscuit that we've crushed. Then we're going to pour this mixture. Then we're going to put the biscuits, the crumbs, and then repeat the process with every alternating layer. Now, one tip I'd like to give you here is every time you pour the mixture that we prepare, that is the condensed milk, just put it into your freezer for about 10 minutes and then put the biscuit mixture. That way the biscuit mixture will actually stay on top of the condensed milk mixture and it won't get mixed up. So that's a small little tip here, that you just put it into the freezer for about 5 or 10 minutes till it sets. And then you're just going to refrigerate it till you're ready to serve it. And your Serradura pudding or sawdust pudding is all ready. So I hope you like this recipe. Do give it a try.